Hello everyone, merhaba. Thank you very much for joining us here today. My name is Anna, it's Anna Butker, and I work for the University of Plymouth. Normally I would be in beautiful Istanbul or Izmir or Ankara these days, but of course this year everything is very different to previous years. So what I do then is I welcome you to my home, because we are still working from home. So welcome to my home office here in Plymouth. Just a few things for housekeeping, please. What we're going to be doing is that we're going to be going through a little presentation, which will take us about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then you will have the chance to ask some questions. Now you will see that you have the questions option on your screen. So if you, whilst I'm talking, have any questions, please ask them or wait until the end. I'll pick them up after I've finished with my presentation. Can I please make sure that you all have your microphones on silent and also your video, because otherwise you might have interferences which might disrupt the session today. So here we go. I can see quite a few people have joined us. And for those who joined us now, once again, hi everyone, and thank you for coming along to this session. What I will do is I will share a screen with you, which is the presentation. I'll switch my video off for the time being, but I will be online again visually at the end for the question and answer session. So here we go. We're going to talk a little bit about the University of Plymouth. And as I said, I'm taking my video off. So there we go. So what is it that we are going to cover within the next 20 to 25 minutes? I will talk a little bit about the university as such. For those of you who are not familiar with us, I will talk about the different courses that we offer, not in detail, because otherwise we will be spending a very long time together, but I will give you an overview of the subject areas that we have. We will talk a little bit about fees and living expenses. And then, of course, one of the most pressing questions at the moment is what is happening currently on campus and what will be happening if you choose to join us in 2021. And then I said we will have the option, or you will have the option to ask any questions that you may have, and I will try to answer them here and now. Now, before we start with sort of the course offerings that we have, I just want to bring to your attention a few points that you might want to know about the university. As you can see here, we are a modern university, and we are very modern, not just in our appearance, but also in the way that we approach teaching and researching. And talking about research, within the UK, we are one of the top 50 research institutions, which is a big achievement for a modern university. Although we are modern, we have been around as a higher education institution for over 150 years. So it's not that we are not used to teaching our students. We have over 160 sport clubs and societies on campus, so no matter what you are interested in, I'm sure there will be something for you to engage in. And one thing to point out as well is that we are very happy to be known as a safe city. So wherever you're coming from, it normally would be from abroad. I think a question that you always have in the back of your mind, is it actually going to be safe where I'm going? And please rest assured that we certainly are a very safe city. And last but not least, what I would like to point out from this slide is that we are very, very proud of having received or having become number 4 out of something like 160 universities in the UK in the International Student Awards. So basically students, international students across the entire UK have been asked to do their own ranking with regards to their experiences on campus. And we have become number 4 in 2018, so 2 years back. So this is something that me working in an international office that I'm very, very proud and happy about. Right, let's talk about the university and where we are. I bet most of you will have an idea of where London is. That is down here, and normally our students do fly into London just because you have most airlines operating in and out of London. Both Turkish Airlines and British Airways normally fly directly into Heathrow, but of course this year everything is a little bit different. So if you go about 3 hours down southwest, either by train or by car, you will hit the city of Plymouth. We are a medium-sized city, so compared to Istanbul, we are probably very, very small, which is something that I like very much, because every time I go into Istanbul, I just am way too overwhelmed with the amount of people and cars on the streets. So we have about 300,000 people living in Plymouth, which makes us a medium-sized medium-sized city. The university itself is home to about 20,000 students, which makes us quite a large university, and the university is in the city centre. So we have a campus, or the pink parts here that you can see, they are all part of the university. So it's a nice compact campus, which is right in the city centre. And just to give you an idea of what our campus actually does look like, and I hope it works now. So there you go, you can see this is the campus. All of those red buildings here, those markers are all buildings from the university. So you can see we are very much purpose-built. So we've got the Rowan Lewinsky building here, where you can do, let's say, 3D design, for instance. We have our lecture theatre, some of the biggest lecture theatres in the Rowan Lewinsky building as well, just to give you an idea. There we go. We also use that sometimes for cinema as well, but there's a cinema as such on campus as well. And to give you an idea of what our halls of residence look like, there we go. This is normally what our students get if they do choose to come and stay in a university hall of residence. It's nice, compact, it's clean, and as I said earlier, it's very safe. One of the best selling points of the university is, and of the city as well, is the location. As you can see right down here, you've got the seaside, so you basically walk 10 or 15 minutes from campus and you find yourself here. That's the Hull. And this is also normally where we hold our graduation ceremonies. So as you can see, it's quite a nice area. In some respect, a little bit like Istanbul, but only when it comes to the location, or to Izmir, because as I said earlier, we are quite a bit smaller than either of those two cities. So we normally have around between 10 and 15 Turkish students each year joining us. Most of our Turkish students would be postgraduate students, but we do have some undergraduate students as well. And as you can see from those two graduates, they both have studied in our business school, and they've studied marine and maritime business, or shipping and logistics, which is one of our best sellers amongst our Turkish students. But I will come back to that in a minute. First of all, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the other programs that we offer. So the University of Plymouth has 3 big faculties, and the first faculty that I want to bring here up is the Faculty of Science and Engineering. Now, as I said earlier, I'm not going to talk about every single program that we offer, because that would make it a very, very long session. So I'm just going to point out some of the subject areas that tend to be normally interesting to our Turkish students in particular. So we have the School of Engineering, where you can do everything from civil, electronical, mechanical engineering. In mechanical, we are doing marine technology, which is something that traditionally attracts a number of Turkish students, but we also have robotics, which again is a very popular subject in Turkey. Then we have the School of Marine and Ocean Sciences, where you can do everything from marine biology to marine conservation, hydrography, ocean exploration. So there's a great variety of programs that we offer there. And we really have some of the facilities which are breathtaking and some of the best in the country if you are interested in studying something marine and ocean related. There's a School of Computing Mathematics, where you can either do a very general degree like a BSc Computer Sciences, or if you're interested, you can also do something quite specialized like cybersecurity, which has become a very popular subject in the area of computing. Then we have the School of Earth, Geography, and the Environment, where, as it says sort of in the title, you can do everything that's got to do with geography, geology, with environmental sciences, again on undergraduate and postgraduate level. And then we've got the School of Biological Sciences, and we also have chemistry, although chemistry we only teach on undergraduate level. Right, the next faculty of the three would be the Faculty of Arts, Humanity and Business. And I have tried to color code the different schools or the different areas, because this really is a very large faculty. So in green, we've got everything that's got to do with the arts. So we have design and architecture. Again, architecture is a program which tends to be quite interesting for our Turkish students. So you can do your entire qualification as an architect, both on undergraduate and postgraduate level. We also have the School of Performing Arts in here, where you can do anything from music to acting, and also the School of Humanities, where history, English, anthropology courses are being taught. And then the big purple area here is the business school. And again, in the business school, you can either do a general or more generic business program, like the BSc Business Management or a master's in business management, where the topics are relatively widely spread. Or if you are interested in something very specific in the area of business and management, then you can also study very specific programs, even from the first year, if you are doing an undergraduate degree. So you could be studying something like maritime business with maritime law, or maritime business with logistics. Or you could do a BSc in economics and accountings. Or on postgraduate level, you could do a very specialized one-year program in international shipping, or the MSc Finance, for instance, as well. And then last but not least, we have other subject areas being taught in this faculty as well. So we've got education, international relations, and politics, law, and criminology. And again, all of them would be on undergraduate and postgraduate level. The last faculty is the Faculty of Health. And within the Faculty of Health, you have those 5 schools. So the biomedical sciences, health professions, medicine, dentistry, nursing, and psychology. I will talk about medicine and dentistry on a separate slide, because this is always an area where students have a lot of questions. So I'm going to bring that up in the next slide. But as you can see, the Faculty of Health is a very comprehensive faculty, where you can study anything that has to do with biomedical research, human biosciences, nutrition, to the health professions, if you want to do physiotherapy or dietetics. Then we have the School of Nursing and Midwifery, and on the School of Psychology as well. In the School of Psychology, the most popular program for our Turkish students would probably the one-year MSc Clinical Psychology. And we also have the DCLIM, which is a 3-year postgraduate program. Again, all of those schools offer degrees on undergraduate and postgraduate level. and specifically for our students who come sponsored from the ministry, Turkish ministry, they tend to, we have normally quite a number of students studying something in our Faculty of Health of our sponsored students. Here, as I promised, is my slide about medicine and dentistry. Now, to be very honest or brutally honest, it is very hard and competitive to get into medicine or dentistry, and it is very expensive to study. I will talk about the entry requirements or for all the other programs in a minute. But for medicine and dentistry, you would either have to have studied the American high school diploma or the IB or the English, the UK English system, so the A levels. And as you can see, we're looking at really high grades from there. And the tuition fees, we're looking at for the first 2 years of 21,500 and the final 3 years, which are the clinical years, of nearly 40,000. And unfortunately, there are no scholarships available whatsoever for medicine and dentistry. Simple fact for that is we have enough students wanting to study medicine and dentistry, and so we can be selective. But the good news is, as I will say in a minute, we do have scholarships for other programs. Now, the general entry requirements for students from Turkey, for undergraduate students, if you have studied at a Turkish high school, state or private, we will have a very sort of detailed look at your grades. So normally, if you have about 80% or 85% from your LISA, you might be eligible to come into the first year of our studies. However, if you either haven't studied the right subjects for your LISA or you haven't got the right grades, then we might have to ask you to do a foundation here, in a relevant foundation here. For postgraduate students, it very much depends on the university that you have attended in Turkey, but also the subjects that you have studied on undergraduate level and the subjects that you want to study on postgraduate level. So out of a GPA of 4, our entry requirements would be between a 2.4 and a 3 from your undergraduate degree. And in addition, of course, you will need an English language qualification. Normally, it's an IELTS of an equivalent. So if you're taking the IELTS, it would be a 6 if it is a postgraduate for undergraduate courses, or a 6.5 for postgraduate courses. And please do keep in mind, if you want to do something like an arts-related program, we would normally ask for a portfolio. If you want to do a health-related or medicine-related program, then there is additional information that we need from you, and we also have to have an interview. If we'd ask you to do a foundation, then you can do the foundation here at Plymouth in our college, which is on campus. Now, as you can see here, the normal undergraduate degree is a 3-year program. So this is different to Turkey, where it is a 4-year program. So if we do ask you to do a foundation, then you would basically be studying 4 years on undergraduate level. And after 4 years, you would get your bachelor's degree. These are the subject areas where we are offering foundations, and you can see everything with the exception of medicine and dentistry is basically represented here. And those where we have, that I have marked in red, those are the subjects where we are also offering pre-masters. So pre-masters is for students who don't quite meet the entry requirements for a master's degree. So you can have 4 months of a pre-masters that will then allow you to go into our 1-year master degree. Again, this is the difference with Turkey. Our masters tends to be shorter. It's the number of credits, the same number of credits that you are studying, just in a very comprised way. So if you're doing a master's, it's normally a 1-year program plus 4 months for a pre-masters. Right, talking about a little bit about the finances, because obviously we talked about medicine, how much it costs, and you might have been quite shocked by the prices. At least I am every single time I look at them. Now, the actual tuition fees for the other subjects are much lower. That's what I said to you earlier. So for our undergraduate studies, we're looking at £14,200 for 2021 entry. And then postgrad, and that's for any program that you're studying, with the exception of medicine or dentistry. For postgraduate programs, we make a difference between those programs which are taught in a laboratory or in a workshop, so the science and engineering ones, which is the band 2, so they are slightly higher, or the other ones, so the arts, business programs, they are band 1 and they are £15,200, and that is for the entire master program, because our master program only is 1 year. For visa purposes, you must show that you have a certain amount of money also to support yourself per month, and that is £1,015. And that multiplied by 9 months that you're normally on campus. So you would need to show, in addition to the tuition fees, you also need to show those £9,135 in total for the first academic year, that you have that money available. Now, the actual living expenses in Plymouth are much lower than £1,015 per month. Our students normally spend around £650 to £800 a month for everything. And that's accommodation, your bills, your food, your books, your transport, everything. So this is actually one of the lowest living expenses that you can find in the UK. It is still quite a lot compared to some of the Turkish living expenses, but believe you me, for the UK, this is actually quite reasonable. As I mentioned earlier, there is some good news, and the good news is that we have international scholarships available. Those scholarships are for students who are self-funded. So if you are a scholarship student, that wouldn't apply to you. Of course, the scholarship students normally are postgraduate students anyway. So we've got undergraduate and postgraduate scholarships available. Those I put them here for 2020, but it has been confirmed also for 2021, they will be available. So there's 2 kinds of scholarships. The one is an automatic one, and the other one is one where you have to apply for, again, for both undergraduate and postgraduate ones. The undergraduate one, the automatic one, if you exceed your entry requirements, you will get, and you're studying a course in business, engineering, science, nursing, or health professions, you will get an automatic £2,000 off your tuition fees. And if you're a good student in the first and second year, then you can actually retain either 10 or 20% reduction of your tuition fees. If you are an absolutely outstanding student, then we also have the option for you to apply for the Academic Excellence Scholarship, which is 50% of your tuition fees. And again, that can be carried over for the following on years if you really are, again, an outstanding student. All those details are on the website. So if you have any questions about the scholarships or anything else, I'll give you my email in the end, and you can also ask me those questions, and I'll send you the link to our scholarship page. But if you just Google University of Plymouth International Scholarships, that will come up as well. And then on postgraduate level, again, we have either the £2,000 or the 50% scholarship. It is very important for you to note that not all courses are offering these scholarships. It is on the website exactly listed which of the programs are offering what kind of scholarships. And as you can see down here, the School of Psychology is doing something completely different. They are offering you £4,000 off your tuition fees should you exceed their entry requirements. Now, the biggest chunk of your living expenses will be, as I said earlier, your accommodation. So this is where you really can take control over how much money you are actually going to spend. If you live in a hall of residence, it will be more expensive than if you were living in private housing. The private houses are student houses, so you'll only be living with students, but they are not managed by the university. That's the big difference. And they aren't purpose-built. If you live in a halls of residence, that's a purpose-built building. If you live in a private house, it is a normal house that has been converted to student rooms. As I said, so you've seen this earlier, this is our campus. So all the pink parts are the university, and you can see our halls of residence here. So you would be looking at around £600 per month, including all bills, with the exception of food, if you live in a hall of residence. If you live in a private house, which is 5 to 10 minutes walk from campus, and you can walk because it is safe to walk, there you would spend around £450 per month, including all your bills with the exception of food. And that brings us back to the overall living expenses, which are between £650 and £800 per month. So as you can see, you can very much sort of influence how much you spend on your living costs by choosing the accommodation that is the right one for you and for your pocket. Right. Now, what is happening at the moment? It would be a great lie to say that 2020 has been anything else but extraordinary. It has been extraordinary for you in Turkey. It has been very extraordinary here for us. We, as members of staff, were asked in March to go home and work from home if we can. And then until September, when we started on campus again, colleagues have done everything that they can to prepare the campus for students to come back. Of course, we had to make sure that that our students are safe, that we follow all the guidelines from the government, and so there were a lot of adjustments that we as a university had to do. The good news is that our classes have started in September on time, and that students will have some kind of face-to-face teaching. We have also given the option for those students who couldn't make it to us on time because of travel restrictions, visa restrictions, you know, all of those things which are around at the moment, that those students can enroll online. That means they can become our students and they can start their courses online in their home country, and that they will then join us here in Plymouth on campus once they are able to travel to us. Now, we had to make a lot of changes on how we teach. As I said, obviously we're doing online enrollment. We're also doing some online teaching. So the big classes, the big lectures where you would have, let's say, all the first year business students together, they are being recorded and students follow those big classes online. In addition to those online teachings, we have come up with a large number of small tutorials, of workshops, to make sure that students do have the chance to discuss what they have heard online or learned about online, that they have a chance to discuss that with their teachers, with their tutors, but also with other students. So as I said, a lot of things have changed on campus. A lot of the rooms where me or my colleagues would have normally sat, the offices, they have been changed into additional classrooms. And that is just to make it possible for students to have face-to-face teaching. We also have become more flexible when it comes to the English language requirements. As I said, in the past, we would normally have asked for an IELTS, but then the IELTS testing centers were closed for a very long time and students couldn't get an IELTS. And so we have got some additional English language requirements that we accept for 2020, and so most likely also for 2021 entry. So there's the IELTS indicator, the Duolingo, or the TOEFL, so special home edition. Again, all of that information is on our website. And in addition to that, we have probably made the biggest changes for the University of Plymouth as such, and that is that we are now offering some of our programs with a January start. Until this year, all of our programs would have started in September, but of course, a lot of students have not been able to come to us in September. And so we have, for those programs where it is relatively easy and feasible, we have made those programs available as a January start. So these are the programs, as you can see here. On the right-hand side, those are the master programs. We also have top-up degrees in the area of business, so they start in January 2021 as well. All other programs which are not on the list, they only have a September start. And again, that list is available online. Right, to the end of the presentation. As I said, it would take me about 25 minutes, and I'll try to stick to my time limit. What you have here is my email address. So if you have any questions that you want to raise with me after this session, please feel free to send me an email. If I'm not there, or you have a more generic or general question which relates to international students, then please, you can also use the international office email address as well. So if you have a minute, just take down my email address. It's a.woodker@plymouth.ac.uk, or even if you just Google my name, Anna Woodker, again, it will come up with my email address. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to leave that one actually on, but I'm also going to turn the camera on again. So there we go. So you can see me. So for those of you who, I can see there have been a lot of questions and chats going on whilst I was presenting. And of course, it's all in Turkish, which means that I have there we go. So what we will do now, so there's also questions that you have raised whilst I was talking. So I'm going to try and work through them. I can see someone is asking in Turkish, burslar. I think I answered that question already. Yes, we do have some scholarships available. Then we have some scholarships opportunities. What are the conditions for a scholarship? I think, again, this is something that I have answered already, and that if you go onto our website, you will see that we do have scholarships available for postgraduate studies in the schools, engineering, science, computing, business management. So those are some of the scholarships which are available. Can it be a master with a GPA under 3? It depends on what you have done your undergraduate degree in and where you have done your undergraduate degree. Basically, we do it on a case-by-case situation, and also we will be looking at the last year of your studies. So let's say if the first year of your studies wasn't the most successful one, but then you have had an upward trend in your grades, then we will most likely be positive about your application as well. So yes, you can apply with a GPA of under 3, 3.0, but again, it depends on the program that you want to study. Right, we have a master student focused on 19th century Europe and Ottoman history. What's my changes and opportunities, University of Plymouth? Now, unfortunately, we actually don't have anything in your area. Sort of, we are doing history, but it would be world history, not specifically Ottoman history. So unfortunately, I don't think we actually have the right program for you. The next question that we have is from Sinem, who's asking, I'm studying English studies, however, I would like to do a master's in ocean sciences. Is that possible? Sinem, unfortunately not, because in order to do a science degree, like an ocean science degree, you must have an relevant undergraduate program. So the only option that really you would have is that you would have to start an undergraduate degree again, which is in either environmental sciences, ocean sciences, or biology, marine sciences, if you want to do something on postgraduate level that has to do with ocean sciences. The next question here is, what documents must I submit while applying for marine biology? Generally speaking, the requirements or the documents that you need to submit when you want to apply for any of the programs is your transcripts from school, if you have them already, your English language qualification, if you have that already, and you will also need a reference from your teacher. For marine biology, we would expect you to have studied, if it is an undergraduate degree that you want to do, that you have taken biology and another science from your lise. If you haven't taken biology or sciences for your lise, then you would have to do a foundation. That is the one preparation we offer. Then you can go into our marine biology program. The postgraduate marine biology program, we would expect you to have an undergraduate degree in a related area. I hope that answers your question. Now, Can is asking, as you know, Turkish lira lost its power against the GBP. Based on this economic situation, are you planning to provide scholarships for Turkish students? Can, we don't have specific country-specific scholarships, unfortunately. We do, as I said, have the international student scholarships, which are, I believe, very generous for those students who obviously meet those entry requirements or meet the requirements for those scholarships. But as a university, we have the policy not to offer country-specific scholarships. So I'm sorry, there's no Turkey-specific scholarship that I can offer you. The next question comes from Hesna. Do you offer a foundation program or you have a partnership with another institution? We have our own partnerships. We have our own foundation programs. They would be taught in our international college on campus. So students who are taking a foundation in that international college, they are University of Plymouth students. It is a Navitas college, so it's not university owned, the college, but all the foundations have been developed in cooperation with the university, and so students who are in the college are, as I said, University of Plymouth students. Said is asking about the application procedures and for doctoral students and the English language as well. Now, for doctoral students, any one of you who wants to do a PhD program, it is quite different to all of the other programs, all the other postgraduate programs, in that it is an individual approach. So you will need to find basically the right supervisor for you. And the easiest way to do that is go online, check on the website, what are the research areas where we are actively doing research in, and then contact the head of the research group that you are interested in. And then you will need to put a research proposal in. You of course need your transcripts from your master's degree, and you also do need to have an English language qualification. The English language qualification is the same as for the other postgraduate degrees, so it would be a 6.5 in IELTS, one equivalent that you must have. And that leads also to something that someone wanted, again, Faisa asked about the language requirements. I think that your question was answered. To sum it all up again, for undergraduate level, with the exception of the health professions and health courses, we are asking for a 6 of IELTS or an equivalent. Hang on, something's telling me I've got a connection problem, or a 6.5.
Anna teknik bir sorun yaşıyor şu anda. Birazdan aramızda olacak tekrar.
I think my connection dropped out. So what I have done is I've taken the video off in the hope that this makes it easier. Can I ask my Turkish colleagues from IEFT, can you see me or not? Or can you hear me?
We can hear you, but
okay,
it's a bit
perfect.
slower.
Okay. No, I was just being told that the connection was lost, and so I was reconnected. Right. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can still hear you.
Hello? Okay, perfect. Yeah, the internet. Hang on a second. I'll be back in 1 minute. I'm just going to try to fix something. Right, let's hope that this is working. As I said, it's a little bit, the internet connection has been a bit funny over the last few days. Right, so you can work as an international student part-time. As I said, you can work up to 20 hours in term time. And if you're, let's say, staying the summer over in Plymouth or anywhere else in the UK, you can even work then full-time whilst you're not, if you don't have classes. So that is something you can do without having to have any kind of work permits. And then you also have the option now that if you graduate from the UK, you can remain in the UK for 2 years on something which is the post-studies work visa. So you are allowed to seek work for 2 years and then work in the UK as well for 2 years, which is actually a great improvement, I personally believe, from what it was like before. So that, I hope, answers the question about the work visas. So I'm just trying to get back to the question where I was before. How many Turkish students do we have in total? We do have around, normally around 15 students from Turkey, because, as I said, most of our Turkish students do postgraduate degrees, so they come for 1 year and then they leave again. Someone's asking, so there we go, I'm back to my list of questions. For the foundation, the question was whether you need an IELTS of a 6. No, they will take you with a lower IELTS of 5.5. And also, in addition to that, we have pre-sessional English language classes. So we can take you with something as low as a 5.0 in English, and bring you up in an intensive English language program. If you go onto our website, there will be the information about the English language pre-sessional programs that we offer. Do you have any Turkish faculty members? I'm pretty sure we do. I would be surprised if we didn't, but from the top of my head, I cannot tell you the name, but I'm very sure that we have at least 1 or 2 Turkish faculty members. Do we have any 100% online degree programs? Not at the moment. We, of course, have to see what the situation will be like, let's say, with the January 2021 start. If we find that students cannot come to us, then we might be offering the rest of the program as online programs as well. But at the moment, all of our programs have some kind of face-to-face teaching, and that's what we are planning to do for the, for the rest of the academic year. But then, as I said, we don't know what's going to happen with the situation as it is. Do we have any representatives in Turkey? Yes, we do. We have a number of representatives that we are working with. The long list is on the website. So it is ATEC that we are working with, BEB, the British Education Office that we are working with, EdCon, Educas, Edutamal. So those are the ones that we would be working with. And as I said, the list of them and their contact details are on our website. There is a Turkey-specific website that we have, and you can find the information there. I think I sort of tried to explain sort of what the situation is like with the coronavirus and the pandemic, because that's the next question that's on my list here. Plymouth so far, thankfully, has had one of the lowest number of cases in the UK. Now, in the UK, the numbers are rising again, and so they are rising in Plymouth. Obviously, we have to see where things are going, but even on campus, again, we have a relatively low number of cases, and we are monitoring the situation as it is. And of course, if the number of cases are rising, then there might be changes to the restrictions that we have at the moment with regards to meeting people in public or meeting people in your houses and those kind of things. But touch wood, so far Plymouth has been relatively low in the number of corona cases, which is, by the way, one of the reasons why we have been able to do face-to-face teaching. The next question is whether we are offering an LLM. Unfortunately, we don't have a scholarship for LLM because we don't have an LLM program. We only have the LLB program, so that would be a no answer to that. Okay, so the next question is actually something that some of you might have asked as well, is whether it is possible to start online and then continue on campus. This is what I would say about 50% of our students have done this year, because either they cannot come physically on campus because they can't travel, because of travel restrictions, or they don't want to because they feel they want to have a little bit more safety and security before they actually, about the situation before they go on a long trip to another country. So about 50% of our new students have started online, and they are following the courses online, and then hopefully, as I said, they will join us as soon as they physically can join us on campus, and as soon as they feel safe enough to join us on campus as well. We have another question, whether we can learn English in the UK like Turkish universities. Yes, of course. As I said, we either have the pre-sessional courses, if you don't have the right English language requirements, but then also whilst you're a student with us, you will have the option to improve your English language. So we have an English language center as a part of the university. They are the ones who are doing the pre-sessional programs, so the intensive language programs, but they also teach you whilst you are a student. So if you want to improve your writing skills, if you want to improve your presentation skills, your speaking skills, then there are classes there for you, and they are, of course, free of charge. Someone's asking whether Australian citizens have to pay tuition fees. Yes, of course. It's the same as Turkish citizens. It's basically just the international student fees that you need to pay. Bushra, you're asking about an English language teaching department and whether there's a possibility to do an MA in education. We do have an MA in education, but this is not a teacher training program. This would be more for people who are working professionals who want to basically just get a master's degree in order to further their career. If you want to drop me an email, I can give you some information about the MA education program and also whether they don't participate in the scholarship program. The chat is asking whether there are Turkish restaurants nearby or on campus. Yes, and some of them are absolutely fantastic, and I go there as well. So yes, you will have the chance to eat Turkish food whilst you are in Plymouth. I can't promise that it's quite as delicious as it would be in Turkey, and definitely more expensive than in Turkey, but there is some absolutely delicious Turkish food around that you can have. Benna is asking whether she's done veterinary sciences, whether she can work in marine biology. Will they accept me? It very much that very much depends on what exactly you have studied. So again, if you send me an email address, if you send me an email with your degree, I will have a look at it, and I can then tell you whether they would consider your application or not. So the next question is from Etcha is, do we need to take any exams or language tests for the acceptance if we have 4 years of working experience in the multi-language atmosphere where we actively use English for speaking and writing, additionally graduated from a university in America? You will be, if you have done an undergraduate degree in the university in America, you will be exempt from the English language qualification that you need to show that. However, that is a certain time frame linked to it. Now, when it comes to English language requirements, there is normally 2 sides to the story. The first side is whether the university is happy to accept you, and the other side is whether the visa office is happy to accept you. So as long as the university says, yes, you know, you've done your undergraduate degree in America, and you can prove that obviously you've also been working in international setting for the time since then there will be the possibility that we exempt you from an English language test. So that's definitely something that should be possible. And then last but not least, we've got a question from Furkan, who's graduated from Istanbul Technical University in civil engineering, and who is wondering whether he should would be able to get a scholarship. Furkan, yes, you're an absolutely great student. You've got really great results. I can see that from your GPA and from your IELTS. So you would definitely be a candidate for our academic excellence scholarship, which is 50%. Unfortunately, we don't offer any full scholarships, and you will find that most universities in the UK don't offer full scholarships. This is something that you might find with American universities because they charge you more in the first place anyway, but not so much for UK universities. So with your grades, Furkan, with your background, I would definitely say you should apply for the excellence scholarship, which is the 50% of the tuition fees. Right, and that is the last question that I can see. Do you see anything else, Burcu? No.
No, I think you covered all of them.
I covered all of that. Okay, so as I said, I hope. Sorry, Furka just come back to me saying, okay, yeah, I'm sorry about that. So yeah, that's basically all that I have to say from my side. Once again, if you have any specific questions about the entry requirements, I'm going to share that one page again, sort of the summary page. If you have any questions about the entry requirements of the university, about your eligibility for scholarships, about any practical questions that you may have, send me an email. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. Hopefully, I will be in Turkey again in 2021, and we can also have face-to-face meetings. Hopefully, we will be able to do that. And if you want to have, until then, if you want to have a chat with me, then again, send me an email. We arrange a meeting on that, where you can ask me all the questions that you may have. Okay?
Okay, Anna, thank you very much for the great presentation and all information that you shared with us. It was very nice and detailed information. Also, you covered all questions. Thank you again.
I know you told me not to be too fast, but in order to answer all the questions, I had to speak quite quickly. So if I haven't been clear at some stage, then please send me an email.
Would you like to also post your contact details, email address in the chat box so they can copy from there?
Yes, I'm just about to do that. So, there we go. I just, has everyone got that?
Yes, we can see that.
Perfect.
Thank you very much again.
Okay.
Nice to welcome you at
Okay. Once again, thank you everyone for taking the time out and coming to see me today. And I wish you all the best, that you stay safe and healthy, and that you have a nice afternoon. So thank you very much. And thank you, IEFT, for organizing this great session today.
We thank you too for participating. Thanks again. Have a great day.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.